Good morning, people. Pawpaw Sammy here. It starts his Farmstead. We're looking at the electric fence for their chickens. I don't think I'm gonna touch it this morning.
I wouldn't. The dog touched it the other day and he did laps around the yard.
The amazing thing about these chickens is the hawks. The hawks don't bother them.
The hawks do not bother them. I get hawks. Here's what people have to understand. You see all this tall stuff in here, folks?
Yeah, okay.
So that's gonna act like camouflage for your chickens. Notice over there, there's a whole patch of like tall weeds. They can go there. They can get into their portable, movable coop. And then they've got him, and that's his job. His job is to defend them. Plus, we have a German Shepherd that stays free roaming all day, and he's pretty good at running things out of the yard.
Yeah, Grandpa didn't have any trouble with anything on the ground.
That's right.
Live cats, coons, because them dogs, he had 2 red bones that fight anything. And but the hogs. Now, a lot of times we had, instead of chicken for dinner, we had chickenhawk for dinner.
That's right.
Grandpa would bust them with that shotgun and
Yeah.
cook them.
And I think now, Daddy, to tell you the truth, I think they're considered a protected species, so you cannot defend your chicken coop like we did back in the day, folks. So your best bet is to provide, if you're going to do what we do here, which is allowing them to graze, right? So the chickens are grazing. The best thing to do is to have some tall weeds that they can kind of dip up underneath, a structure that they can run into, and make sure your rooster's the biggest, baddest boy on the block.
Well, your shelter is made out of a cattle panel, right?
Yes, sir. That is cattle panels. That's 2 cattle panels bent over. Those are 12-footers, I think. And we bent them, and then we basically just, Stephen took and bent nails into the wood over the edges to hold it. We took an old tarp that we no longer needed and draped it over the top and threw a piece of wood up in between for a roosting pole.
The fence is battery operated?
It is solar panel battery operated.
I'll be daggone.
And it does, guys. Look, my dad, first thing he said was, has it shorted out yet? Because, of course, the grass and the peppermint and stuff's touching it. And I was like, no, sir, it's still hot. And the reason I know is my younger dog touched it with his nose and did laps yesterday. I mean, he was screaming like somebody electrocuted him.
It did?
It did, yeah. I mean, it shocks. It shocks pretty hard, too. They've been out here now for a month, and we've not had any issues. We started in this spot. You can see they took it down, and then Stephen cut the tall things that they couldn't take out with the lawnmower. So the point of rotational grazing, Dad, explain to people why you want to do this with your chickens in your garden.
Well, they fertilize it. They keep the grass turned over. All the scratching, it actually putting compost back in the soil. Now you got 3 sets of chickens, right?
I got 3 sets, yes, sir.
One here, one there, and one over here.
Yes, sir.
And the reason being, you said?
I don't like all my eggs in one basket.
Oh, okay.
So if I do have chicken hawks fly over and take my better laying hens from here, I've got replacement hens. So, and disease. Yeah. We've had a stray dog attack here where we had 6 stray dogs that got into our older rabbitry one time, and they took 12 out just like that before we could get over there. So I tell people, like, biosecurity tells me that to ensure the health of my flock, I need to separate them out. The young rooster with the young hens, let them develop, let them become their own little clique. The older rooster with the older hens. And I'll be honest, the youngest hen on my property is 3 years old, and they lay eggs every single day.
Well, now, all your roosters look like him?
All of them but one. I have one solid black rooster.
That's a pretty rooster.
He is, and he's very gentle. He's very gentle until the females start making distress noises, and then he'll bow up, but he won't run necessarily at you. Hey, handsome.
He's beautiful.
He is. Hey, Pawpaw. His son looks just like him. He's in the one over there crowing at you.
I can't believe the colors. I think it's multicolored, isn't he?
He is. Now, if you're going to rotational graze and allow your chickens to do what mine are doing, feed themselves, you do need to supplement. And here's another thing people ask me, Daddy, how do you know when it's time to move them? Because it looks like there's still food out here, right?
Yeah,
I know it's...
Most of your tender grass is gone.
Exactly. I know when to move them when the first day that the rooster and a hen jump out of this, because they'll fly over it. When I find them walking in the yard, I realize they have nothing left that they want to eat. And it's time to rotate the fence around and give them new grazing area. Now, the good thing, Daddy, if I had a little bit more acreage and I had goats, this would be the time to bring the goats in.
Yeah, knock the trash down.
That's right. I'd move the chickens and then I would bring the goats into this area, folks, and let the goats eat all this down.
They'd do it too.
They would. They'd absolutely take it to the ground.
If you want to clear land, get hogs and goats and turn them loose.
That's right.
They'll clear it.
So if you've got small acreage, you're wanting to homestead, you're wanting to bring fertility back to your soil, you run your chickens, then you run your goats, and then if you have hogs, you run your hogs last because they're going to root up everything. Aren't they pretty?
Yeah, they are.
I do this all day. Stand out here and just watch. I just watch them because they're hilarious.
I mean, they really getting down out there.
Yeah, I'll be moving this later today. When it cools off this evening, I'll be rotating this fence. Come here, I'll show you where we're going to move the new part, Dad. We're going to take this fence out. Yeah, it's a little uneven. And we're going to rotate the fence to this area. Now, this area has a lot more clover in it.
Oh, yeah.
It's got a lot of dock, too. So we cover cropped all of this, folks. And, you know, weeds take over, too. But you can tell, you had told me what the name of this was at one point. And I forgot.
Oh, it's not corn.
No, it's,
I'll be dead young.
it's a grain. And you pay a lot of money for it to feed your chickens.
Yeah.
Well, we planted it. So you've got dock, and you've got whatever that grain is. And then
I went blank when you asked me.
yeah, we've got the clover. And what'll happen is the chickens will come out here, but by the time this is finished, the ground will be bare, except for the tall stuff that they themselves cannot take down. Now look, we even have oats. See the oats? So the chickens will come out here, they'll eat the oats.
Show them that oats again.
Yeah, right here, folks. See the oats? Those are oats. Think about how much money you pay. Now, I'm on small acreage,
Sorghum.
right? What is it?
Sorghum.
Okay. Now, you know, Dad, that this is a 1/4 acre market garden we're standing in. The food is within that orange fence. That's just 1/8 of the garden. That's going to have thousands of pounds of food. So we wanted to give the soil a bit of a rest, right? You have to let soil rest.
Yeah, and bring it back. If you don't, you'll lose it.
That's right. So we planted cover crops, which is why you see all of this. And we're going to let the chickens basically eat for free.
That's right. And they'll also fertilize and turn the ground over.
They will. And Daddy, I think people just don't realize that you are what you eat, right?
Yeah.
So if they're eating pelleted feed, dried feed, fake vitamins all their lives, well, that's what you're getting. Imagine how nutritious their eggs are when I go gather them now.
That yellow is bright yellow.
Oh my gosh, Daddy, it's the color of that bucket.
Yeah. When you buy it in the store where they've been fed grain off the ground, you get a weak looking yellow.
Yeah.
Get them off a field like this and it's bright yellow, orange.
And it has so much flavor.
Oh yeah, so much better for you.
Mm-hmm. And they're happy.
And they look pretty content.
They do. I mean, think about it, folks. Those chickens inside of those buildings shoved up on top of each other all their lives. How miserable they must be.